Hi, hello, namaste. Welcome to Psych Tidbits. Change your thoughts, change your world. I'm Varishri Prasad, a mental health counselor, and today we're going to tackle an issue that affects so many of us: self sabotage. Have you ever found yourself standing in your own way, avoiding success, or letting opportunities slip through your fingers? Self sabotage can be deeply ingrained in our behavior, often without us even realizing it. But the good news is understanding it is the first step towards overcoming it. Today, we'll dive into the causes of self sabotage and what happens in our brain, and most importantly, how to stop the cycle. So, what is self sabotage? Is when we actively or passively prevent ourselves from reaching our goals. It can look like procrastination, negative self talk, avoiding challenges, or even sabotaging a relationship or career opportunity. But the most frustrating part is that we are doing it to our own self, often without realizing it. So basically, we know that we want to succeed, but something inside us is pulling us back. And why does this happen? Self sabotage is a behavior that is being rooted from our childhood days. Let me just brief you out how exactly this could have happened in your life. One of the key reasons behind self sabotage is our childhood experiences. Early life events, especially those related to how we were treated or what we were told, have a lasting impact on how we view ourselves and our abilities. So, let's take a closer look at how childhood experiences shape our self sabotage. Take yourself back to your childhood and think, were you ever compared to others? Did you hear things like, why can't you be more like your sibling? Why can't you be more like your cousin? Look at that child. He's so outsmart, and why can't you be like him? So, constant comparisons can make you feel like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. So, this can lead to feelings of inadequacy and doubt that stay with you well into adulthood. So you might think, why bother? I'll never be as good as my cousin. Example would be like, you may have worked really hard on a particular project, like you would be so excited, and you just come and show it to your parent, and your parents would, like, instead of praising your efforts, they just like make you feel overlooked, make you feel like worthless. They will eventually praise somebody else's work. Look at that person's project, it's so great, and look at yours, how small it is. Something like that. So eventually, this belief that you will never be good enough might stop you from trying at all. So, this words like never good enough, you're not worthy enough, or you're incapable, these kind of words, these kind of sentences would have been ingrained in your mind. And lack of validation of approval, perhaps no matter what you did, you felt like it was never acknowledged. The lack of appreciation could lead to a belief that you're not worthy of success. You might begin to feel that your efforts won't matter, and that there is no point in trying because no one will ever notice or care anywhere. So, why do we act this way? Well, it's not just about our emotions or thoughts, it's also about the neuroscience behind it. So, our brain has certain mechanisms that drive self sabotage. Okay, there are basically two major parts of our brain that is involved in this. One is the amygdala, is the part of the brain that is responsible for processing emotions, particularly fear. So when you face a challenge or something outside our comfort zone, your amygdala can trigger a fight or flight response. Even if there is no real danger, the brain might perceive the situation as threatening and push you to avoid it, leading to self sabotage. So, if you're ever procrastinated on an important task because you were scared of failing, that's your amygdala in action. It's trying to protect you from the fear of failure by making you avoid the situation altogether. So now how is this fear of failure stepped in? In your childhood, you would have heard things like, you have failed my expectations, or you were not worthy enough, you were not good enough. Look at your cousin, how great he dances. Look at him, how good he sings. And why can't you be like him? Why can't you be like the other person? So these kinds somewhere has made you felt that you are unworthy, or somewhere it has made you like, okay, no matter what I do, I can never ever be competent enough. So somewhere this small seed of fear would have been planted in you. So what's the role of the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logic, planning and decision making? However, when the amygdala is too active, it can overwhelm the prefrontal cortex, making it harder for us to think clearly and act rationally. In simple way, amygdala is basically the alarm clock with a loud noise. So when the prefrontal cortex is like, thinking, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? The amygdala, it just rings loudly. So the noise would be so loud, the prefrontal cortex cannot concentrate. So it cannot basically think. So that is why you would be having like two feelings. So when an opportunity comes, a part of you would be saying like, go grab, let's do this, and the other part is like, no, don't go, don't mess it up, you're not worthy of it. What if you fail? Or what can I do it? Or what if I can't do it? So there is this trigger that is pulling you back. So basically amygdala wins over the prefrontal cortex. So if we don't address self-sabotage, it can seriously impact our lives in the long run. It doesn't just affect our career or goals, but it also influences our relationships, mental health, and overall well being. So, missed opportunities, the more you give into self sabotage, the more you miss opportunities, whether it's passing on a promotion, or whether you are going and grabbing an opportunity of opening something new, maybe a business, or maybe purchasing a plot or purchasing a land. Both are same, right? Purchasing a house or purchasing a land or having your own startup, something like that. You're basically missing out the opportunities because you don't think you're good enough, or avoiding a relationship because you fear it won't work. Low self-esteem and anxiety. So when we continuously hold ourselves back, it erodes our self-esteem and creates anxiety. So you begin to doubt your abilities, which can lead to a cycle of even more self-sabotage. You start to feel trapped in a loop that you can't get out of it. And this low self-esteem is also being created in your childhood because you were not appreciated well enough. So how can you break free from self-sabotage? Identify your triggers. Start by becoming aware of the situation or feelings that trigger self sabotage. Is it a fear or is it a failure? Is it a belief that you're not worthy? Identify the specific triggers. You can begin to address them more effectively. Example, maybe you're afraid of public speaking. Every time you have to present, you get nervous and avoid it. So recognize that this fear stems from a past experience or a belief. So once you identify this can help you tackle it. So challenge negative thoughts. Self-sabotage often stems from a harsh inner critic. So you might hear thoughts like, you'll never succeed, this isn't for you, listen to me, I know you better, I have lots of experience, you cannot even proceed further. If you go against my words, you will fail miserably. You do not have the rights to do this. You're not supposed to do that. You have to do certain things because you're part of the family, and you're not supposed to outrun your sibling, or you're not supposed to outrun your cousin. So these kind of words, which are very harsh to that young mind, would have created that inner critic. So whenever you catch yourself thinking this way, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do I have to support this? So practice self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up for past mistakes or failures, show yourself kindness. Understand that everyone makes mistakes and that they don't define you. This shift in mindset can help you stop the cycle of self sabotage. Take small steps at a time. Instead of diving straight into something huge, take small manageable steps. If you want to start a business but fear of failure is making you, not to move forward, begin by researching, creating a plan, and setting small milestones. See, you know your own self, right? You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. So when you start to list out your strengths and weaknesses, you can overcome your weaknesses also. So make a plan, write it down, make a list, and what are the pros and cons and everything, and then you will also get confidence. And so like that you can just begin with the prospect of your business. So these little wins will build your confidence. Seek support. Overcoming self-sabotage is hard to do it all alone. Talk to a mentor, talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor or a trusted friend about your struggles. Getting feedback and support from others can help you see things from new perspective and provide accountability. So also take help in planning your goals. That inner critic should actually have a person to talk about. So when you feel like embraced, automatically you will start feeling lighter. So have a person who can, help you out to analyze your own self. So self sabotage can feel like a heavy weight, but it's important to remember that it's not something that has to control you. By understanding its roots in childhood experiences, how it affects your brain, and taking small steps to challenge it, you can break free from the cycle. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more insights on psychology and personal growth. Let me know in the comments if you have experienced self-sabotage and what steps you have taken to overcome it. Remember, the power to change is in your hands. You can take control of your life one step at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.